We are Rogue Media Sports.
Welcome on in. It is the Cam Show on Rogue Media Sports Network. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeping us on the air as he does 5 days a week live on YouTube and then wherever you get your podcasts as well. Today, we're talking about the drama that is now coming from Stefon Diggs. What is the pink substance and what did Mike Vrabel have to say about it? Plus, we will talk about the Red Sox and try to answer the question, why hasn't Roman Anthony been called up yet? And now there are other executives in the major league saying this actually doesn't make any sense. We'll give you the bullshit reason that Craig Breslow gave. And Brad Marchand's in the Stanley Cup final. Are we rooting for Brad Marchand in the Stanley Cup final? All that and more coming up on this episode of The Cam Show. We start with the Patriots. You've all seen the video by now. Stefon Diggs living the life, man. On a boat, Memorial Day weekend, a lot of good-looking women wearing very little clothes. And they're in their bikinis, and he's making them call him daddy. Who amongst us wouldn't do that as a, generational millionaire and a good-looking guy, in good shape? Who among us wouldn't do that? And then he pulls out this bag. And honestly, the first time I saw it, I've seen this video like 15 times now. First time I saw it, I really didn't think much of it. I was just like, oh, here's Stefon Diggs on a boat with a lot of good-looking women with their titties out. But he brings out this bag, and it's tough to make out. It's like pink. I wouldn't think it's Pop Rocks. Let's just say that. When I did finally notice it, I was like, oh, yeah, that's probably drugs. I mean, look at it. He's on a boat with a bunch of women in bikinis making them call him daddy on Memorial Day weekend, and he's a millionaire. It's probably not candy. At least not the kind of candy that you and I eat. Like, that's probably drugs. And now there's speculation as to whether it's pink cocaine or not. I wish I could show the video. I tried it on another video, and YouTube took it down because they think it's drugs. So that's not good. And it's also not good for the Patriots organization. Mike Vrabel addressed it at OTAs on Wednesday, and it was not good. Garen Guregian asked first question about it, and Vrabel said, well, it's something that we're aware of. Obviously, we want to make great decisions on and off the field. We're hoping that with our time here on the field today, that when we don't have a script, when we're on the call periods, we're making great decisions. The message will be the same for all our players, that we're trying to make great decisions. Any conversations that I've had with Stefon will remain between him and I and the club. When asked if he had spoken to Diggs since the video, Vrabel said he talks to our players every single day. Diggs was not at the OTA, which is optional. He is recovering from an ACL injury. Apparently he was there last week, but this is not good for Mike Vrabel. I'm not going to say it's sinking the ship or anything, but he was on a heater, right? He's coming in with a pretty low bar. Just be better than Gerard Mayo, right? That's a pretty low bar. He comes in and he says, look, we're going to change this thing. We're going to change this culture. We're going to take accountability back. We're going to take professionalism back. He's not a Belichick disciple. I don't like hearing that because he's not. But the way he's going to run this team is certainly going to be a lot more like Belichick than it is Mayo, right? And he has a great free agency. He has a great draft. Everybody is lauding him around the league for this turnaround that's about to come with the Patriots. And one of the big free agent signings is Stefon Diggs, right? Probably getting the last ounces of really good football out of him, hopefully, as he recovers from this major injury. And then this happens. And I hate doing this. I try not to listen to sports talk radio much these days, and specifically not this show. But I got to agree with Mike Felger here. I thought this was a really good point. He comes in and he says, look, do I really care that and athletes doing drugs that's non-performance enhancing? Honestly, not really. It happens. Most athletes do this, or a lot of athletes do this. I won't say most. A lot of athletes do this. But it's this part of it. He's coming in as probably his last real contract, his last shot to be a real number one receiver and make a real impact on a team and make a team better. And he's recovering from an ACL injury. And this is what's going on. He's on a boat with a bunch of women in bikinis offering them drugs, telling them, don't take it all. Yeah, I'm sure those are pop rocks. It's a mentality thing. This is what we're going to catch you doing. And by the way, how in the hell are you getting caught? Are you kidding me? How dumb are you? Like, this probably happens with athletes all the time, but you know what? They don't have people have their fucking cell phones out recording it. Idiot. What are you doing? Like, of course that's going to go everywhere. Of course that's going to blow up. And now your coach has to address it. A coach who's been talking about, mentality and accountability and professionalism. This doesn't hit any of these things. Any of them. Of course, we've not heard from Stefon Diggs yet, but what? Seriously, what else is that? I've never seen pink cocaine in my life. I can't definitively say that's pink cocaine. But come on, what do we really think that is? And so that's where it's annoying, right? We've heard how he's making this great recovery, like the greatest recovery ever from an ACL injury. And all we're seeing is him on a boat on Memorial Day weekend offering drugs to really hot women. This is what we're talking about. Like, being smart, priorities in the right place. This does not hit any of them. And, I know it's 2025. And like I said, we know that a lot of these guys do recreational drugs in the off season. This is an optional time of year to be practicing. But how can this look good? I know there are some people who are out there saying, hey, we got a diva wide receiver. Finally, all the great teams need this. Here we got one. Yeah, well, I do kind of go back to the point of Elliott Wolf and Patriots executives leaking out that they didn't want someone like T. Higgins because they don't want a diva. They don't want somebody who's too demanding in the huddle with Drake May. And then they go out and get Stefon Diggs, who's been essentially run out of a couple of places because he was demanding. Again, that kind of comes with the position. That's what I argued at first, is try to find me a good wide receiver who's not a diva. I'll show you a bad receiver. He's been run out of a couple of places. They weren't too arsed to see him leave Buffalo. They weren't too arsed to see him leave Houston. And so first off, he already is kind of the diva. But then there's this. Oh, you didn't want a guy who demanded the football. You didn't want T. Higgins saying, hey, Drake, I was open on that last play. But you will take this. You will take handing out pink cocaine to women in bikinis on a boat on Memorial Day weekend and getting filmed doing it. What's my name? What's my name? Come on. Now, don't take all of this. Don't eat all of these pixie sticks. This is what you'd rather have. The dude better be productive. That's all I'll say, because he's getting paid a lot of money, especially for this 1 year. It's essentially a 1-year contract. He's getting paid a lot of money to go out there and be the number one receiver for this team, for this young quarterback, for this new coach, for this team that's ready to take the next step, allegedly. And this is what they're dealing with instead. It's not a good look. When we get tens of millions of dollars in our pockets there, but for the grace of God, go all of us. But it's not a good look. And I just can't believe, for a guy who's been a star for, almost 10 years here, let's be honest, 10 years, that he's letting someone get away with recording him passing out cocaine, potentially cocaine. Not good. Not good for him, not good for Mike Vrabel and this new Mike Vrabel Patriots brand. It doesn't show professionalism. It doesn't show accountability. It doesn't show like basic brains, really. So here again, you got a guy, his last real shot to be an impact number one receiver, last real shot to make real money. And this is what he's doing. Not at the facility, not helping out the young quarterback, the second-year quarterback. Again, they are optional. They are optional. But, hey, there was a time with this franchise where those weren't really optional, and guys went to him. Veteran guys went to him. Not so much anymore. Instead, they're passing out cocaine, allegedly, on a boat on Memorial Day weekend. Vrabel's pissed. Vrabel has to be really pissed. And I do wonder if this blows up even more, if this gets worse, if the league does an investigation and say, yeah, that's cocaine that he's passing around there, and they're about to hand down a suspension, which is possible. It's unlikely because, we don't see him doing it. We don't even know what it is. We can guess. I mean, come on. We can infer. But if they find that there's going to be a suspension coming, that's a big decision for Mike Vrabel. Is he saying, I got to set an example here. I got to say that no one's above the team rules. I got to cut this guy. It could be a thought that he has to have or a decision that he has to make amongst his coaching staff that he's going to teach the team a lesson here and really, really stick up for accountability. We'll see. But right now, he's the number one receiver for the Patriots. Tough thing to do. Let me know what you think about the video and what should come of it down in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're coming to you live on YouTube 5 days a week, and then wherever you get your podcasts as well. Check out the other videos on our YouTube channel talking about the Patriots and everything else Boston sports. Appreciate you guys tuning in every day. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeps us on the air 5 days a week. It's just stupid, isn't it? It's just a really stupid video. That's where it's like, obviously you don't want him doing that stuff anyway, but you don't want him to be so stupid about it. That's supposed to be one of the leaders in your locker room. It's supposed to be one of the leaders of your team at a very important position, man. This was the worst wide receiver room in the league last year. He's the only thing that really makes it better. Oh, Matt Collins. No, it's Stefon Diggs. And we've been telling ourselves this is going to be a miraculous recovery. He's going to be a number one wide receiver in this league again. Here it is. League lookout for Drake May to Stefon Diggs. And then this is the first thing we get. Really, the first thing we get is him allegedly passing out pink cocaine or passing out allegedly pink cocaine to scantily clad women on a boat on Memorial Day weekend. I hope to do that someday. I just hope to not get filmed. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. Coming up next, why isn't Roman Anthony playing in the major leagues? Why is he not a Boston Red Sox right now? We will try to make sense of it. We will also give you the really stupid answer that Craig Breslow had about it. That is coming up next on The Cam Show.
Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internix. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. Enjoy seamless, fast storage without compromising security. Visit internx.com today and take control of your digital life. That's internxt.com today. Elevate your experience with Grenco Science, the leaders in cutting-edge vaporizers. Whether you're at home or on the go, our sleek, powerful devices deliver smooth, consistent hits every time. Quality you can trust, innovation you can feel. Grenco Science, take your vapor game to the next level. Visit us at grencoscience.com. At Terrapin Ridge Farms, they believe in the joy of effortless entertaining. Inspired by CEO Mary O'Donnell's mom and her legendary holiday parties, they've crafted a line of gourmet foods that turn any meal into a celebration. From savory jams to mustards, aiolis, and more, their products are made with love, bringing unforgettable flavors to your table. Whether it's a casual get-together or a special occasion, they make it easy to impress. Terrapin Ridge Farms, where great food and great memories come together. Visit them at terrapinridge.com. Terrapin Ridge.
Do you ever have a story that you just can't get out of your head?
One that you play the details of over and over with your friends?
Well, you've come to the right place. I'm Claire.
And I'm Susan.
And this is Justice Pending,
a weekly true crime podcast where we discuss tantalizing crimes with more questions than answers.
Thanks for joining us.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Combine that with OrganicHemp.com's top quality CBD for ultimate balance. Start your healing journey today at GlobalHealing.com and OrganicHemp.com.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farms, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
It all began with a simple idea, cutting handles off old ski sticks to create better pull-up bars. This sparked the creation of the revolutionary Engels 90 handles. After testing over 70 prototypes with 300 athletes, our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Ready to bring your vision to life? At Small Rig, every idea, design, and product is inspired by you, the creator. With our industry-first under co-design mode and the Dream Rig free customization project, we unite with global creators to turn big dreams into reality. Whether it's a cage rig or mount, Small Rig's versatile gear is built to elevate your craft. Small Rig, where your creativity meets our innovation. Go to smallrig.com.
Unlock a world of convenience with Mully Box, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. Each box is tailored to your taste. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com.
Welcome back. Some very important breaking news on the Cam Show. I'll do my little Cronkite routine. Celtics legend, who felt he should have been mentioned in Celtic City, Isaiah Thomas, has weighed in on the massive Celtics offseason with this tweet. Man, when I'm on these flights, I be farting so much, lol. Especially these overseas flights. It's all bad if you sit by me. This is huge. This could have huge ramifications for the Celtics and the greater NBA world and whomever signs him to their next 10-day contract. No wonder the Celtics just cut him loose like that in 2017. The dude just be farting. How can you let that guy be the leader of your team? I don't know. Have some decency. Probably takes his shoes off too. Anyway, we are here to talk about the Red Sox. Unfortunately, after we talked about Patriots Stefon Diggs in segment 1, we will now shift to Roman Anthony and the lack thereof in segment 2. Red Sox lose again. I think I'm a pretty nice person. I wish I could hate something the way the Red Sox hate winning baseball games. They hate doing it. This is what, 4 or 5 in a row here? 5 in a row. They get swept by the Brewers. The Brewers, who also suck, by the way. Like, that lineup that they roll out is pathetic. And they crush the Red Sox. And still, we hear nothing about Roman Anthony. Still, he's not an option, apparently. Just make it make some kind of sense. And now there is an anonymous AL talent evaluator. So a scout or someone in a front office in the American League that is now ripping the Red Sox, saying the handling of Roman Anthony, quote, makes zero sense, end quote. And still, as this team spirals out of control, we can't see Roman Anthony. He's just crushing it in Worcester, and that's where he's going to stay, apparently. This fan base is getting absolutely restless. You can't have both of these things. You can't say you have a fan base that is great, that knows their stuff, that is right as one of the great fan bases in all of baseball, which I still think it is. You can't have that and also be able to think that you can sneak one past them by saying, oh yeah, we're keeping Roman Anthony down there because we need him to walk more. 1-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. I would take that for what this team's putting out there right now. I'm sorry. I'll take that in a second, actually. And it just continues to get worse. They can't score runs. They haven't scored more than 4 runs in a game in almost a week now. And it's not going to get any easier for them. So Craig Breslow is now being grilled on this. He was asked on the Greg Hill Show on WEI why Roman Anthony isn't up there yet. Here is Craig Breslow's expert answer. We need to be mindful of the environment that Roman would be coming into and the pressure we'd be putting on a 21-year-old in the midst of a losing streak to come up and save the team. Roman's time is coming. I don't think there's any question about that. So we have to figure out what is best for the organization and what is best for him. This quote goes on, but I want to stop here. I hate that excuse. I hate that excuse. No one thinks Roman Anthony's going to come up here and save the team. What we think Roman Anthony's going to come up here and do is provide something of a spark and not be an automatic out in this lineup. And give him the time to get used to this thing. No one's going to not be patient with Roman Anthony. No one except Tony Maserati is going to flip a lid when he's 0 for 10. Okay? We want him to come up and figure this out. You have options here. That's what we want. We want to see the other options. He's the number 1 prospect in baseball, and he's just crushing it in Worcester. Normally, that means you could go up to the next level. No one believes he's going to come up here and save the team, but he can bring something positive to this lineup to come up and save the team. Any prospect who's ever come up has come up to fill a need on the team. There's never going to be a time that you're going to be like, oh yeah, let's have Roman Anthony just come up here and get, 8 at-bats a week. That's not what it's going to be. So when is the time? When is the time that he's not going to be saving the team? Because again, I used a couple of examples in the show yesterday. These guys weren't coming up to save the team, but Andrew Benintendi came up in August of 2016 when they had an injury and they were hitting a bit of a snag. And he was huge for them and hit for them in the postseason. 2017, they were on a losing streak. They were out west. They weren't hitting very well. They called up Rafi Devers. He did pretty well, and the team did pretty well. They won the division both those years. It helped out big time. So we're not saying he's coming up to save the team. That's Craig Breslow putting that out there, not the fans. And then this goes into kind of my next point. We want to make sure when he comes up, not only is he ready, but there's a runway for him to play. You don't want to bring up a 21-year-old and have him play sporadically. He needs to be in the lineup every day. So which is it here? Is he coming up to fill a need on the team? Because there clearly is one. Or do you want him to play every day? Because both of those things are there right now. Let me read off the lineup that the Red Sox rolled out there in Game 3 against the Brewers yesterday. Duran, Devers, Abreu, Meyer, Sogard, Story, Hamilton, Wong, Rafaela. With the substitutions being Ref Snyder, Campbell, Toro, Narvaez. You're meaning to tell me the general manager of the Boston Red Sox, the guy who runs this team, who makes the decisions, sees that dog shit fucking lineup and doesn't think, we have nowhere for Roman Anthony to play. How am I going to fit Roman Anthony into this lineup? That is such horseshit, man. That's worse than Steve Kerr looking at a top 5 player in the NBA and saying, I don't have a place to play him on the Olympic team. You mean to tell me there's no room in that fucking lineup that Roman Anthony can't play? Are you kidding me? How goddamn stupid do you think we are? Seriously. Like, are there any limits to this just bullshit answers of why he's not up there? The reason why is you want to save the service time, which is also bullshit, man. And it's killing this team right now. And we think of it from a fan standpoint, but think of those guys in the clubhouse. right? To some extent, obviously, we're talking about their teammates, their brothers, their veteran guys. They don't want anybody to lose their job, but they also want to win fucking baseball games. And you don't think there's guys in that locker room thinking, if the kid's so good, can we just bring him up? We want to start winning some games. All due respect to Abraham Toro. But we want to start winning some baseball games here. His OPS has dipped in the last 2 games, and it has dipped to 978. 8 homers, 23 RBI, 318 average. His barrel rate earlier this year was like 40%. And you don't have a spot for him in the major leagues. You've got to play Trevor Story every day. The worst hitter in the entire major leagues. A guy whose OPS plus since signing with the Red Sox is 68. He's 30% worse than the league average hitter in the last 3 seasons. And this is his worst one. But you got to put him in the lineup every day. Sorry, there's just no room for Roman Anthony. How can you sleep at night after spewing that fucking bullshit and watching this team just suck day in and day out and not be able to score on mediocre starters? You're looking at a team that since winning the World Series with the greatest team in franchise history, since then, they are exactly 500, 464, and 464. They are as mid can get. And you're not embarrassed by that. This is the thing. The Red Sox front office has no shame anymore. Nobody's sitting there saying this isn't good enough. When Theo was here, the expectation was 95 wins every single year. And the shit that's been happening the last few years would have been break glass in case of emergency kind of bad. But not to this front office. Not to this group. They say, shucks, we can't find a spot for Roman Anthony. We'll just have to put Christian Campbell in center field. Like, what the fuck are we doing, man? And this is the perfect opportunity. The perfect opportunity. On the road, Cora's already said Campbell's going to play first base at some point in this Atlanta series. Awesome. Campbell plays first. Rafaela plays second. Duran plays center. Roman Anthony plays left. I can't make it any more simple. There it is, right there. And you'll have a game where you've got Anthony, Meyer, and Campbell in this lineup. Not because they're here to save the team, not because of that, but because they give you a better chance to hit the baseball and win games than the guys you have in the lineup right now. No one's saying he's coming in to be the savior. What they are saying is he's got to be better than what you have right now. He has to be. We said that about Christian Campbell coming out of camp. He's had a shit month, but guess what? We were right about that. He was better than the other option. And you're sure as shit right about Marcelo Meyer being a better option than David Hamilton or Cedar Rafaela at shortstop. Better. Absolutely. But you've got a GM who's refusing to bring up the best players. You've got a manager who's now refusing to ask his guy who played third base last year to go back to third base and help the team, even though he put up a bitch fit in spring training. Rafi Devers has successfully bitched enough that they won't ask him to do anything anymore. And I'll be damned if he's not one of the guys who's actually trying to win games for this team, who's actually producing. We will look the other way for him refusing to play third base because you know what? He can hit the ball. He can drive in runs. He can be that David Ortiz figure. But even the other executives around this league are not seeing through this Craig Breslow bullshit. They're saying, yeah, anyway you slice it, this doesn't make any sense. The season is falling apart. Which leads me to kind of the other point of that, of like, again, we don't expect him to save the season. But if you're Craig Breslow and you had all this expectation coming into this season and it's going this poorly right now, Why wouldn't you try to have someone save your season? Why are you refusing that opportunity? Oh, we don't want him to come up here and save the season. We would rather lose. We'd rather continue to lose with Roman Anthony and Worcester than raise our chances of winning with Roman Anthony in the major leagues. That's what they're telling you. They would rather continue to suck and not score runs and not win games and keep Roman Anthony's feelings intact than bring him up and say, hey, man, no matter what anybody says, you're not our savior. We just want you to come out here and learn the major leagues. They're so frightened that they can't get it through Roman Anthony's head that he's not the savior of this team, that they're just not going to bring him up. How does that not embarrass this franchise, man? Like, they continue to suck, and they don't want to bring up the best players to do it, to get better. It just baffles me. It just baffles me. He's only hitting .318 with a .978 OPS. He's only barreling the ball 35% of the time. Like, he's absolutely too good for AAA, and you're not willing to bring him up. Because there's just no spot in the lineup for this guy. What, do you expect me to play him over Cedar Rafaela? You expect me to play him over David Hamilton? No. How can I find a spot in the lineup for this guy? Shut the fuck up. Seriously? This is who's running our team? No wonder they're mid as holy hell. They will always be mid. This is their mentality. They're refusing to do what's best for the team to win games. Of course they're going to keep losing fucking games. His time is coming soon, allegedly. They just need to start winning some games, I guess. They need to turn this thing around before they bring up a guy who can help turn this thing around. In no way does it make sense. It's totally ass backwards. And it makes me cuss like a sailor. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Why isn't Roman Anthony up? What excuse do they have that's better than this? Let me know in the comments below. Check out the other videos on YouTube talking about the Red Sox and everything else going on in Boston sports. We are live on YouTube 5 days a week at 9 Eastern time, and then available wherever you get your podcasts. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Coming up next, let's talk about some hockey, because one of our favorites is in the Stanley Cup final. But can we root for Brad Marchand and a Panther sweater to lift the Stanley Cup again? We're going to ask the tough questions that matter. Coming up next on The Cam Show.
Shades is your trusted partner in stage lighting, offering a wide range of high-quality, innovative products since 2015. With designs that cater to all needs, fast delivery, and affordable prices, we provide exceptional customer service to ensure your satisfaction. With warehouses across the globe and sales in over 100 countries, Sheds is quickly becoming one of the most recognized names in the stage lighting industry. Visit shehds.com today to discover top-tier stage lighting solutions and become part of our global network.
Introducing Muck-Off's classic pink bike cleaner, powered by revolutionary nanotechnology that breaks down dirt and grime on a microscopic level while protecting your bike's delicate finish. Developed by our mad developer Alex and tested by riders, our products are made by riders for riders. Discover more at us.muc-off.com, where we break the mold to bring you the best in bike care.
At Open Goal USA, we're revolutionizing training for both soccer and lacrosse with our innovative portable rebounders. Perfect for players of all ages and skill levels, our rebounders improve accuracy, control, and technique in both sports. Built with premium materials for durability and ease of use, they're ideal for training anywhere, anytime. Whether you're perfecting your soccer game or sharpening your lacrosse skills, Open Goal USA has you covered. Visit OpenGoalUSA.com and elevate your training today.
Chapellex is a full-category shapewear brand dedicated to providing women with exceptional comfort and support. We offer thoughtfully designed solutions that blend style with functionality, empowering women to feel confident and at ease every day. Chappelle X is redefining what it means to have a perfect body. Our mission celebrates body positivity, embracing every shape and size, because true beauty lies in authenticity. Visit shapellx.com today and join a movement towards self-love, acceptance, and confidence.
Indulge in Blum's luxurious Lotus flower rolls. The green Lotus roll bursts with a caramel apple flavor, while the blue Lotus roll offers a smooth berry cream sensation. With our Crush for Flavor technology, enjoy an instant burst of natural, intense flavor anytime you desire. Elevate your experience with the finest creations nature has to offer. Explore the full collection at blumleaf.com. That's BLUUMLEAF.com. Blumleaf. Golf Partner, the world's largest golf store network, offers more purchasing opportunities than anywhere else. With a dominant market share and a wider selection of quality secondhand golf clubs than our competitors, we make it easy for you to enjoy the game with affordable, top-quality equipment. Join us at golfpartnerusa.com and discover why we're the trusted choice for golf lovers worldwide. That's GOLFPARTNERUSA.com. Golf Partner. At Terrapin Ridge Farms, they believe in the joy of effortless entertaining. Inspired by CEO Mary O'Donnell's mom and her legendary holiday parties, they've crafted a line of gourmet foods that turn any meal into a celebration. From savory jams to mustards, aiolis, and more, their products are made with love, bringing unforgettable flavors to your table. Whether it's a casual get-together or a special occasion, they make it easy to impress. Terrapin Ridge Farms, where great food and great memories come together. Visit them at terrapinridge.com. Terrapin Ridge.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious. Find your blend at hempdelicious.com.
Welcome back to the Cam Show. Rogue Media Sports Network. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeps us on the air 5 days a week. Closing it out, third period, so to speak, of the Cam Show here on this Thursday. And let's talk some hockey, shall we? Brad Marchand back in the Stanley Cup final for the fourth time in his career. The Panthers are there for the third year in a row. Claw your eyes out, Bruins fans. Here's where it gets interesting. There's a lot of people who are still in Brad Marchand's corner. Lord knows. I got him up in the studio every day. Still love Brad Marchand. Still don't like the Panthers in really any way. The only redeeming thing is that Brad Marchand plays for them. And so now they're in the Stanley Cup final. They're probably going to be playing the Edmonton Oilers. I would say a very likable team in America. I know Canada is very different. It's very tribal. But I would say the Oilers are a pretty likable team. And it will be a rematch of last year's Stanley Cup final where all Bruins fans were rooting for the Oilers. Now, does it split the fan base? If you're a diehard Bruins fan that hates this management and loves Brad Marchand, all of those boxes I check off, are you actually rooting for Marchand to win the Stanley Cup, even though it would mean back-to-back for the Florida Panthers? Now that is a question. It's actually not all that dissimilar to what we faced 5 years ago. Remember that? 4 years ago, I guess. And Tom Brady was in the Super Bowl with a team from Florida, the Tampa Bay Bucks, a team that we couldn't really give a shit less about in New England, right? Never came across our purview, really. And I think a lot of Patriots fans, myself included, there was some division, but I think a lot of Patriots fans were rooting heavily for Brady. And they were happy that Brady beat Mahomes and that he had another Super Bowl. And it was just, when he's your GOAT, that's who you root for. You know, now there were some Patriots fans who didn't, and I'm sure there will be some in the comments who were saying, no, you're crazy. I didn't root for them. He abandoned us, yada, yada, yada. But does that equate to the same thing for Brad Marchand? It's a Bruins legend, icon. He'll have his number retired. He'll be in the Hall of Fame. He's a captain of the Bruins. He won a Stanley Cup with the Bruins. So do you kind of get a pass to not have to root for him here? Because I'll be totally honest with you guys. I wouldn't mind seeing Brad Marchand win a second Stanley Cup. I really don't want to see the Panthers win it. I fucking hate the Panthers. Like, what? Why would I want that? I hate that they're the best team in the NHL. I hate that they're about to potentially go back-to-back, that they've won 10 playoff series in the last 3 seasons. I hate that. But I can't really stand Brad Marchand to do it either. Like, as good as it would be for him to have a second Stanley Cup, I believe he deserves to have a second Stanley Cup. Nothing is given to you in pro sports, but with the way his career's played out and with how many really good teams he's played on how many, I thought another team that should have won the cup in 2019, like, it feels like Brad Marchand should have a second Stanley Cup. And if he does, momentary, kind of smile on my face. But when you look back at that 10 years from now, this is not like Ray Bourque. This is like, oh yeah, I remember he won another cup with the Panthers. Wade Boggs won another World Series with the Yankees. It's like, okay. Yeah, I don't love that. Like, what if Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett won a title with the Nets? Don't necessarily love that. You know what I mean? It's like, good for them, but I'd rather not see the Panthers win the Stanley Cup again. And I have seen a lot of people equating it to the Ray Bourque thing. It's not. I'm sorry. It's really not even close. Like, the difference between having won a Stanley Cup and having not won a Stanley Cup is massive in this scenario. Ray Bourque was, one of the top 20 players of all time, maybe. And he played for you for 20 seasons. Was your captain for half of those. Had been through more than half of those, way more than half. Had been through it all with that team and had been jerked around, had been taken to arbitration in the middle of his career. And he had not won a Stanley Cup. Ray Bourque needed to win a Stanley Cup. He deserved to win the cup. And it was an embarrassment that he played 20 years with such a proud franchise, an original six franchise that prides itself on being a contender year in, year out, and he couldn't do it with them. That's when all of New England was pulling for. And the Colorado Avalanche, who cares, man? Western Conference, good organization. They did have Patrick Waugh, which we didn't like, but Joey Sakic, Peter Forsberg, great players. They weren't dirty. They weren't gross. They weren't knocking you out of the playoffs. All those things that fit the Panthers criteria. That was an easy one to root for Ray Bourque. This feels different. I'm sorry. It just feels different. Again, if they win the cup, which they very well could, especially with this Hyman injury with Edmonton, they probably will win the cup. Like, I will have a smile with him, hoisting it and skating it around. But then you're going to see a fucking parade with Brad Marchand going on the boats in Florida. This was the team that, sucker punched him last year, knocked him out of a couple of games in the playoffs. And those two series, the 23 and 24, were as hotly contested as any of those Montreal series in the early 2010s. Like, right there. Just as testy as the Philadelphia series, those ones that we remember from that great era of Bruins hockey and be like, man, I fucking hated those guys. Last year, like that hatred, that bullshit, that tomfoolery, that felt like the Vancouver series in 2011, which was the peak of hatred I had as a hockey fan. I hated that Vancouver team. Hated them. And the same thing with those Montreal and Flyers teams as well. Those Panthers series in 23 and 24, like, that had the same kind of temperature. Absolutely. That had the same kind of bitterness. So to see your captain then go and play for that team that was so universally hated in this fan base, maybe the most universally hated team in that fan base right now, and win the Stanley Cup, that sucks. Like, that eats at me. And he's already there. He's already in the cup final. Like, it already sucks, right? So I cannot equate this to the Ray Bourque thing. I can't equate it to the Tom Brady thing. It's somewhere in the middle, and it sucks. Feels more like the Wade Boggs thing. Although that's a little different because the Yankees are the most dearly hated rival, and the Red Sox had not won a World Series in almost 80 years at that point. So, yeah, I just can't spin it to me being really happy about Brad Marchand winning the Stanley Cup with the Panthers. And again, if you had told me at the beginning of this season, yep, Brad Marchand going back to the Stanley Cup final, I'd be a pig in shit. And then if you told me, okay, it's actually not going to be for the Bruins, go ahead and pick what team it's going to be. The last two teams I would have picked would be the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Florida Panthers. Just no shot he's playing for those guys. Here we are. Brad Marchand, who was great again in that Leafs series and was pretty productive in this series as well against Carolina in the Stanley Cup final with the Florida Panthers. There's no way to slice it, man. It's not going to feel good. And the Panthers, if they win back-to-back Stanley Cups, and in a 3-year span, they knocked you out with the NHL's best regular season ever, okay? Then went to the final, right? Then knocked you out the next year and then won the cup. That's already like fucking just stabs all over your body. And then the only way to one-up it is to then win the cup the next year while you're at home with your worst season in 20 years and they're winning it with your captain. There might not be a bigger, like, stab to the heart 3-year sequence in the history of Boston sports than what the Panthers are doing to the Boston Bruins right now. They are dancing on their grave. They're pissing on it. They're spitting on it. And then they're going to drink out of the Stanley Cup right on top of it with Brad Marchand. Oof. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Am I being too dramatic? Do you want to see Brad Marchand win the Stanley Cup? Or is there pretty much like everything else in the world you'd rather see than that? Let me know in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're on the path towards 4,000 subscribers. We're here every weekday, high noon Eastern time, live on YouTube, and then wherever you get your podcasts as well. Check out the other videos on the channel, talking Bruins, a lot of Bruins, and everything else going on in Boston sports. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeps us on the air. We will see you tomorrow on a little ditty that we like to call, wait for it, yeah, The Cam Show.
Transform your workspace with Hanomi Ergonomics. From adjustable chairs to standing desks, we provide solutions for comfort and productivity, whether at home or in the office. Improve your posture, reduce strain, and work smarter. Visit us at hanomi.co today. That's HINOMI.co today. Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internix. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. Enjoy seamless, fast storage without compromising security. Visit Internix.com today and take control of your digital life. That's INTERNXT.com today. Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com. We understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Committed to excellence, we adopt a user-centric approach guided by ergonomics and medical science. With a team of seasoned professionals in R&D, design, and manufacturing, we prioritize quality across our entire product line. Visit Tousains.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com.